What does a Max Buffed Corvus look like, and how strong is he? Well, we're gonna find the answer to that today. Here, I've assembled every reason buff in the game, and so far it's not looking so great, although of course I haven't used any spells yet. Although I guess if I had to make a prediction, it probably won't perform as well as, like, other max buff heroes that I tested, in which case, or rather on that same note, here is the list of what every max buff hero got to last time I tested them, just so you have an idea of what we're up against. So initially, I kind of wanted this first test to be, how long can I survive with just the base spirit, but hell, I guess buffs don't really work well with this base spirit, so let's cast Spear then, and see how well that works when you give it every buff. Thing is, there's a lot of buffs that just simply do not work. I don't even trust Spear alone to handle this, yikes, so just a quick Frostbound. But before I dive too deep into details here, I will just say, and be honest here, I'm not 100% certain how every single spell on Corvus interacts with buffs. I know some of them, like from testing and all that, but others I'm still not 100% on. So if anybody, you know, wants to add more additional details that maybe were not mentioned here, then feel free to say in the comments after you watch this. Like, for one, I will say that the Overclock ability pretty much does not work on a majority of the spells, minus a couple of them, as with the Alp buff, because a lot of these are treated as sub-towers. Rather, at least the Spirit itself is considered a sub-tower similar to the mini Comanche planes on the Comanche Commander, which now can't be Alp buffed or overclocked. But they can be given global buffs, i.e. Call to Arms, Temple buffs, and Jungle Drums, basically the aura buffs. And once again, let me just uncast the Spirit to show you just how bad buffs work with the base Spirit. It's almost as if there were no buffs given to it at all, alright? Spirit time. Now this is where you can actually notice the extra buffs being given. We're getting, like, I saw up to 8,000 DPS. Basically, Heart of Thunder Druid if it was an S tier tower. Yep, that should wipe the floor. I would say no problem, but it actually got pretty close. Okay, let's use this time to experiment with other spells, though. So first off, Storm should definitely have some benefit, especially with all those projectiles spawning out. Yep, we now have about 700 DPS compared to, I believe it was like 100, with no spells active whatsoever. And just for fun here, I'll use Overload to end off around 100. JK. Probably a good time to mention now that, yeah, Overload is probably one of those spells that have almost pretty much zero benefit from buffs, because it's a nuke. So what good is giving attack speed or even damage, considering Rue does like thousands? And now for curiosity's sake, here's how Corvus does against 104, which is the round he died to, you know, in the one tower test, no buffs whatsoever. Easy peasy with Storm and Spear. Now, it's not to say that the Overclock and Perimeter are useless on Corvus, because as you see, the speed buffs actually affect how quickly Corvus can haunt the next balloon, because you see just how quickly, like, once that DT dies, it immediately goes to the next one, so you can pretty much keep up full mana without even having to use any of the abilities, which I find is, well, very helpful. Not to mention the extra range that Corvus gets from all the max buffs. Looking good, I gotta say. Let's just see how Trample works. I'm not exactly sure, like, how it benefits from speed buffs or any of that. But that's just one of them. It seems to, in my opinion, clear out those mobs pretty well. I'll keep mental note of that next time. And now let me uncast everything because I want to try a combo. Let's do Echo and Ancestral Might. And, yep. If you thought Max both Spear and Storm was looking strong, well, take a look at that. So one thing I noticed during my testing is that Ancestral Might actually does benefit from the overclock buffs. So it's probably treated differently than the base Spear, which makes sense. Makes sense because technically that's not a Spirit attack, that is an attack coming from Corvus itself. So personally, it's my belief that Ancestral Might is by far the strongest thing we have, like, coming to the late game. To make it to the highest round possible, we're probably going to have to maximize the hell out of that spell. Make sure it's off cooldown for every strong part of the run. Fortified DTs are starting to get a little scary. I'll use Aggression too for DTs here. That was a bit slow. So in case that first use of Ancestral Might or Big Hands didn't show you enough about how good it is, well, let's activate it right now. Echo. And here we go. DPS, single target, 15,000. And now we just gotta make sure that the strong targeting doesn't cuck us over. That's the only problem with this ability. It is so good, but we have to have it in the right spot. Otherwise, the strong targeting is probably gonna screw us over, and then cause ceramics to leak or anything like that, but maybe the attack speed will make up for it. I don't know. I guess I haven't yet shown how strong Ember is, so let's just uncast it so we can... So I guess I can just show you how it does solo. I'm pretty sure the attack speed is allowing it to drop more than the usual amount of Embers, right? But obviously, I think it's definitely getting outscaled now. Alright, let's use... yeah, sure, let's use Echo and Trample. Haven't used that yet to clear it around. But why not start right now? Trample is love and Trample is life for super, super dense rounds. Nice. I'm not gonna lie, that lightning is pretty satisfying. Okay, and 128 here, definitely Echo. For double the amount of spears, hell, even Trample and Haste. To speed things up. Absolutely necessary for a round like this. And again, I'm pretty sure that's all there is to showcase in terms of, like, what spells really do well when max buff. Because Repel and Frostbound are just utility. We already know that they only work on mob class wounds and below. Nothing much to it there. Malevolence already does, like, really, really weak mob damage. You can really see Spear putting in work when it comes to really dense rounds. We're peaking at 25k DPS, which is pretty solid in the grand scheme of things with only Spear and Storm. Ember 2, just to be safe. I haven't used all three at once yet, but seems to hold line decently. Frost 2 and Haste. Sheesh. Okay, rip those lives, I guess. Anyways, here it is. I'd like to use 128 here to see how this does. Echo and big hands, man. The hands are so massive. The visuals don't even match up. You got, like, hand smacking on the DT is, like, well beyond what their visual reach is. It doesn't last the whole wave. Let's see if we can survive the downtime. It's not looking good. Okay, then. Okay, I guess I gotta delay the Echo big hands for as long as possible then. And how would that work? Well, let's start with aggression first. That's really all the damage I can do. Crap. I still have to use this early, though. If I wait too long, then it's just gonna run by. I'm not gonna be able to target it. I don't think there's a way I can actually do this, though, right? What if can I recover? There's no way I can recover. These ETs are way too fast. Alright, it's all in aggression, then. Trample as well, yep. Trying to make do of the duel while active. And Ember. Oh, I probably shouldn't have used Ember last round. It's only round 138, and it's not looking good, folks. Oh, actually, this reminds me of a trick that some of you guys commented previously. I'm gonna try overloading. Wait for it, though. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now? That didn't seem to work. But if I try to... Oh, recovery after overload, the spirits actually come back immediately, which could work in our favor. Let's just use it early. Nope, okay, it's actually, again... Okay, this still might be trickier than I thought. At best, I'm gonna get, like, what, 1 DDT? Yikes. Anyways, let's quickly... Oh, God. I got the Instant Storm activated. Alright. But you saw what I did there. Just simply cast uncast recovery, and then the spirits come back. Funny little exploit right there, I gotta say. And now that's off, well, hope for the best. I will use Echo and Haste, and Trample, and Harvest, and Ember, and that's still not looking good. I mean, I guess I have to Echo, and then Overload, like that. And then this, and then this, and then this. Alright, I think this is a better tactic. But how much difference is this really gonna make? Well, again, quickly recast everything. The thing is, with using Echo, really now I have a single Trample, which is not good. Unfortunately, Corvus is just too unreliable. If only the big hands was, like, active all the time, then I think that would be interesting. Alright, I am unfortunately at my wit's end here. Best thing I can do is I can move this up here just to pop DTs much faster, which will help. But how much really? Then we'll Trample immediately, just so we get, again, the double Echo in with Haste. Alright, everything's active, everything's active. Best run so far by a landslide. But how much does that really do for me? Nah, there's just way too many. GG, that's a little bit disappointing. Now here's where we break the limits of our realistic testing, just because it's a bit of a buzzkill. If we didn't truly see how good some of his abilities were against, like, super strong rounds, like the F-pad here, for example. So waiting for the Homeland to be active, which is now. This, and this, And let's see how, like, if the duration of the big hands and Echo can bog down this F-bet in time. And would you look at that? I think... Oh, it's so close, but luckily, Spear and Storm can clean up. So if we did hypothetically get past 138, yes, 140 is easily doable. This last part here is going to be pretty scuffed, but bear with me here. So I tried setting the ability cooldown rate for Challenge Editor to be 5%, just to see if I could simulate like a perma Ancestor Might, you know, having a much faster cooldown, meaning I could just spam it instead of waiting for the 1 minute, but apparently that modifier doesn't even work for Corvus. Not sure if that's an oversight or intended, but that kind of sucks. So instead what I'll do is I'm gonna just throw a perma spike in the back, and we'll keep playing the rounds out to see how much, I guess, the Echo and Ancestor Might combo can, like, eat up during a round, if you know what I mean, and then just let perma spike tank whatever leaks through, like, while it's off cooldown. Because as I said, this is the strongest ability by a landslide. Without it, you see that Spear and Storm only gets us to, like, 138. But there's just so much more potential. So we just simply recovery while it's on cooldown, and I guess let Permaspike tank everything. But it might not be able to tank a whole lot, since even with the... You have to recover a very, very long time, it seems. Yeah, it's much more downtime than I really would have liked. Oh well. Again, though, just watch as it clears out 143. Man, that cooldown is really short. Unfortunately, we also have to watch out for the recovery cooldown, because even that doesn't come up by the time I finish Ancestor Might. Jeez. What I really want to see is just how much DPS we can get in Corvus, like, at a single point in time. I'm seeing 40,000, actually 6 digits. I think I saw 200k for a frame. Yep, that went pretty hard, alright. And now let's wait for a giant clump to show up again, and blast off. Here we go. Oh man, we're just gonna leak all those mobs, aren't we? What we could do is similar to what I did in the quote-unquote 1 TC, like, move Corvus to a spot where the hands will target an intersection. But I realize that the problem now is that the range is so big that I can't really target an intersection. Can I now? I swear a perma-spike pile is gonna die any minute. Now, I haven't crunched the numbers on, like, how much ability uptime we have on the Ancestor Might, but it's gotta be, like, under 20% uptime. Yep, 1 duration now doesn't even, like, make a dent to, like, the round there. And there it is. Perma-spike pile died because Corvus couldn't pop enough balloons. Last thing I'll try is, I don't know, some random round, because I still want to see how much DPS we can rack up at a single point. Sounds pretty fun, so here we go again. Yeah, this is a lot of balloons here. We should totally see some new high. Or not. I still haven't seen a 6... Oh, there it is. 245, 300. Oh, now we're talking. These are the numbers you like to see. But alas, only for a brief moment. And alright. Again, sorry, bit scuffed, but what can you really do? If you want to see how the other heroes fared when max buff, then click here for more. Otherwise, see you next time.